Okie doke. Let's take a look at adding something else into this now. So we talked about collecting like terms and all that in the last video for this series for this lesson, right? 1.1, which is just kind of like an Algebra 1 review on working with equations. So now let's take a look at working in the distributive property, okay? And so we got this nice little thing here, courtesy of one of the other teachers here. And right here we've got this little graphic on the distributive property. And what the distributive property says, okay, is that you can multiply, if you have something that's multiplying by a sum or a difference of things, like a quantity of things. So not just just a straight up product. What you can do is you can multiply the outside item, the thing, you distribute it to both things, right? By multiplying it, right? So this becomes A times B and then plus A times C, right? So you can see that you've got an A here and an A here. And it's helpful to understand this because later on when you get into factoring and we start hitting that stuff pretty hard in chapter 3, we'll be going the opposite way, right? In fact, in pulling things out. So I think it's good to know how to operate with parentheses. So whenever you see anything in front of a parentheses, right? So if you've got anything, let's say you got x, minus 3 plus y, something goofy like that, right? And you've got, a 7 right here. That means that you're multiplying that outside terms times everything that's in there, right? And so that's going to give you 7x minus 21 plus 7y, right? And so you take the sign of the thing in front of it into account and you multiply it by the things. And remember, the big deal with me is always recognizing that this is the term. This is the term. This is the term. You always include the sign to the left of it because that's part of it. It's part of what makes it what it is, right? So, so let's look at some of these, okay? So let's use, I got some kind of crazy jazz playing in the background here. Let's turn this down a smidge, all right? So let's do this. So we got 5 times this. So 5 is just going to multiply by this stuff, and then we're adding 2 multiplying by this stuff. So we got 2 different distributions going here. We got that one, and we got this one, right? So let's bust those up. So this is going to give us 5 times x, which is, just for this one, I'm going to write it like this, and then which is going to give me plus 5 times 3, all right? And then we have plus 2 times 1 minus 2 times x, and then we have equals 14. And now we're going to just stick with black and just finish this off. So this becomes 5x. Whenever you multiply a number and a variable, you just tack them together. 5 times 3 is 15. 2 times 1 is 2. And then minus 2x, again, just tack them together, equals 14. And now we are going to do a little collecting. So here's a variable, all right? And here's a variable. So let's add those guys together. So 5 and negative 2. I got 5 x's here, and I take away 2. So that's going to give me 3 x's, right? And then with my numbers, right? Let's see, I haven't used blue yet. You have 15 here, and you have 2 here. And you can only combine those because they're on the same side of the equation. Plus equals 17, or not equals, plus 17 equals 14. And so now my last step is or my last steps is, this kind of puts us where we were at the beginning of this lesson, right? We've got 2 steps left, right? So our first step is to get this term. You get the term with the variable by itself. So we're going to subtract 17. You do the opposite, right? If you take 17 away here, you got to take it away here. All right, so that's going to give me negative 3 over here, and then 3x right here, because that canceled that out. And then I have 3 groups of something, which equals negative 3, right? So if you divide by 3, right, split this up evenly 3 ways, you're going to get negative 1 in each one. Okay, so there you go. If I put this back in the equation, we have 5 times negative 1 plus 3 plus 2 times 1 minus a negative 1 I purposely wrote that way. That should equal 14. So let's see what we get. So 5 times, this is 2, right? So 5 times 2 is 10. This is 2 as well. 2 times 2 is 4. So we get 10 plus 4, which is 14, and that's what we wanted. So this is a keeper, and we like that. All right. Now let's do this again, right? And now I'm not going to blow it out like this. We're just going to go like this. Okay, so we got 5 times c is 5c. 5 times negative 8 is negative 40. Now we have to include this negative sign when we do these, right? So we got negative 2 times 2c, which is minus 4c. Negative 2 times positive 12, which is minus 24, equals negative 84. All right, c's. So we got a c here, we got a c there. So that gives me 1c, because 5 minus 4 is 1. You don't write the 1, okay? Try to remember that stuff. Negative 40 and negative 24 is going to give me minus 64 equals negative 84. Now we will add 64 because you do the opposite, right? Do the opposites. Algebra is all about the opposite. It's about the opposite and keeping things balanced. And then c equals, what is this, negative 20? Right. Negative 20. And then let's put it in. All right, so we got 5 times negative 20 minus 8, minus 2 times negative 20, plus 12, and that should equal negative 84. So this is negative 28 times 5, all right, deal with you in a second, minus 2 times, well, this is negative 40, right, and 12, which gives me negative 28. So this is going to be positive. So this is going to give me plus 56. Okay, and then this is going to give me a negative 140. And then if I subtract, if I go 140 minus 56 becomes 10. Right? So you get 4 and 8. And because the 140 was negative, and this was positive, that means I'm going to have a negative answer because I have, quote unquote, more. It looks like I have more of the negative than I do of the positive, right? This thing will never reach 0. So my answer is negative 84 over here, which happens to match that. So we're in good shape. All right, I'm going to stop the vid. And the last vid I will make will cover, a couple more examples we got to go over. All right, thanks. Figure out how to stop this.